Misha, Dex, and
your boy Keymon. And obviously, you guys see we have two special guests with us. Ladies, can we introduce ourselves? Who wants to start?
I will. Hello. I'm LaNia, founder of Trust Edge Financial Services and a real estate professional.
And I am Christaley Nesbitt, COO of Trust Edge Financial and an accounting professional.
COO. COO.
And it don't stand for cool.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so today is really unique for us. If you've been following our podcast, we have talked several times about finances and the different obstacles people have faced. And I think it's a taboo word. Finances in the Black community, the brown community is a taboo word because a lot of times it brings shame on people if they didn't have the proper information. So we invited our two lovely ladies here to not only talk about their career and how they're helping other people with their financial goals, but we're going to have dialogue because I got questions. I know Keymon got questions.
I got one already.
Oh,
Lord! No, it is very simple. Very, 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 very simple. How did this come about? Because I know, obviously, we talked about highlighting our village and what people in our village do as professionals, what they can provide for us, and you know, this is my first time meeting you two ladies. However, you guys did do my taxes.
I didn't get no report. I didn't get no bonus. All right, this is the end of the episode. We are really right. No, I definitely introduced you.
Yeah.
And we've known each other for 5 years.
Yeah, about 5 years.
Yeah.
But how did this come about in terms of getting them here on the podcast?
So I thought you had some more tax money in there. Well, the conversation happened because the very first thing you just said about supporting friends. And she was just like, I love the fact that you guys are doing this. How can we come and be on the show? And I thought, well, you're a part of multiple topics, believe it or not, right? When we're talking about the things that we've overcome in our childhood, the things that we've overcome in adulthood. And so it was a no-brainer to say, why not have not just my friend, but a financial advisors to come in and share your experience. Like maybe for me, I'm like, what is like one of the highlights of your career so far with helping people with their finances?
That's a good one.
Because I'm sure you've seen some pretty bad credit scores or lack thereof.
Yeah. You know what? I would say just putting people on the right path and seeing them start from here, and go here. Part of the problem, though, is that when you tell people you need to do this and you need to do this and you need to do this, they're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then like 3 months later, they come back and they're like, oh man, you would never believe what happened. And, you know, my score dropped and, you know, I couldn't get this credit card. And the first thing you want to ask is, did you do what I told you to do? Did you do it? Did you follow the steps?
So speaking of, did you do what I told you to do? Say you have a client. Fresh out of foster care, doesn't have any family attachment, and they're like, they got a full scholarship for school, but they know nothing about balancing financial aid. They know nothing about credit. What will be your first task for them?
Open a bank account. There, number one. Open a bank account. Put that money in there. Use it as needed. Now, the problem that young adults, we're going to call them young adults, the problem that they have when they first go into college, and I know because I fell into this trap, they have all of these people on campus, get a free credit card, you can get a $2,000, and you're like, free money.
I was definitely that person. My mom told me, you don't need that. You don't need the limits that they're giving you, but hey, you know, you don't understand it.
You see the limits, and they get you because they're like, oh, you want to get that Gucci purse, you want to get the Nikes, you know, and you're just like, yeah.
I think
I want that.
I think as you say, mentioned a couple of things I can definitely relate in terms of one, giving instructions and not following through with the instructions, because I feel like for me, I fell short with financial instructions because one, situations played out, right? Like obviously there's some times where it's just like I just don't got it. Like I don't got it. And then two, I feel like with that becomes also an embarrassment of like, damn, is she really that bad? Because, and I mentioned this in previous episodes, season 1 and season 2, like I filed for bankruptcy and I thought it was really a bad thing when in reality it was giving me a fresh start with
definitely.
more so of a advantage of now I kind of know what not to do.
Right.
But still don't understand score, because sometimes I look at Credit Karma, I be like, I just paid this shit off. Right. And so how, speaking about the cliches of being embarrassed of your finances, not wanting to share, what is your thoughts on that? How do you navigate that and spread that into community to kind of get rid of the stigma?
I think the thing is to remember that we all go through the same things, right? You could see that person that you admire and you want to be on their level. They have been through what you're going through. They started somewhere, right? And I've been that person that has been embarrassed by my credit. Things have happened. I may not have had it and just was irresponsible. I've done quite a bit of that in my life. You speak about bankruptcy. Maybe mine was a little bit more shocking, But even like you speak about bankruptcy, I filed bankruptcy actually twice, right? And I've recovered great. Sometimes in some situations I am an advocate for it, with the understanding of what to do. The first time it was just because I was irresponsible. The second time I kind of had to because I was coming out of a divorce. But it's just like we do have to get over that hump of not wanting to communicate and not wanting to share. I know that has hindered me in the past. Like we have to, not everybody, but find those trusted people that we can go to because we just need help. Like,
You said a key word. You said share, right? And I feel like I say this all the time. The biggest disservice we do to each other is not share our stories.
That is the biggest one.
So for me, I grew up watching my dad and my stepmom not do well with credit, right? And so I was like, I'm never getting a credit card. I didn't realize the hindrance that was going to have on me when it was time to get a home, right? And so obviously I've done everything now to get everything together. But I always admire my god sister because her parents gave her a credit card at 16. And they allowed her to max out and they would just pay it. And now that she's older, she has great credit. And it's like when you see those two different worlds, of course there's both give and take of both stories. But like, what is your goal with your business as far as helping communities when it comes to not only just getting their credit right, understand how to trust themselves? Because everything starts with confidence. Right. So how do you build confidence in individuals or communities when it comes to their finances and their credit?
Well, I can only speak personally. Going back to what Nia said, you have to be able to present yourself as that person that they can trust. She was my person. When I was drowning in debt, we used to work together. When I was drowning in debt, she was like, just file for bankruptcy. And the shame. She's like,
look at Keymon.
And I'm like, what's the big deal? And I'm just like, I can't. And she's like, why not? And I couldn't answer that question. The biggest question that we should be asking people in our community is why? Why can't you? It's not going to hurt you. It literally got me on the path I am today.
What's hurting you is not understanding.
That's what's hurting you. That's what's hurting you. And not even knowing the options. You just don't know what you don't know. I always say that. You know, even in my life now, there's some things I just don't know. I'm still learning about credit, right?
Yeah.
I just said, like, you know what? I'm not going to even beat myself up. I'm going to give myself grace because I just didn't know, you know.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest thing. And then, again, just being able to, like, share, not being embarrassed about it because everybody has been through it. Like, literally, everybody's been through it. So being able to really just be open, and then you can kind of get the advice needed or just be set on a path or introduced to somebody, you know, that can really change your life.
Well, just like there's people that lack emotional empathy, there's people that lack emotional intelligence, people lack financial intelligence. Like,
very true.
Across the board. Like, there are so many people that are stuck in ruts, and because of bad situations with family members and what they saw, they're not willing to come out.
Exactly.
And also good situations, right, with family members where you can always go to the well and pull, so you wasn't forced to be responsible, right? Like it's a tell of both ends. I think it just really ultimately comes down to your intentions behind every move, right? Because you know, and I was sharing this with you guys earlier, like, you know, filed bankruptcy, got out to purchase. Now I'm back in debt. Now I'm trying to get out of debt. And I'm like, just to go back in debt once I know I'm getting out of debt. And I'm like, okay, is this a revolving door that most Americans or most people feel?
Yeah.
Okay, so I should give myself credit.
Also, most homeowners. Because again, not to sound like the dark cloud in the space, there are some people that will never reach that, right? Because they don't have the discipline. They don't have the backing, and then that shame carries more weight than literally working with somebody. And like, oh, I can help you, and you like,
exactly.
Like, what I gotta do?
Exactly.
So I feel like that's the other piece of it, is that a lot of times people have that shame, and I feel like what's important for me on this particular episode is I want to remove that shame. Start talking to your people. Like, I remember my brother when we did the interview with my brother, Jason and Nick, and Nick was just like, I had to learn from my sister. And I was sitting there like, I was winging it. I had to figure it out, right? I didn't have, that well was dry.
You know, I think it really just comes from a sense of prioritizing what you really want, right? And that can go a big way, because it's also understanding that, because coming from a person who loved to shop, loved shoes, or whatever the case may be, I remember getting laid off. Me and my boy got laid off and got a severance packet. We went straight to the mall.
Oh my God, I did.
Like, it wasn't we went straight to the mall. And I remember navy blue Air Force Ones was my favorite pair of shoes. But also, I had moments where I had to make phone calls and call people and say, hey, I need help. I didn't call you.
I got receipts.
But also in that moment, I feel like for me, that's when my want for being financially responsible changed, because as I'm sitting in this dark room and looking at my shoe boxes, I couldn't do the shoe boxes couldn't do anything for me. Like, you know what I mean? And this is before obviously the sneaker game got crazy where you can resell shoes, but I also felt like a lot of them shoes was off the back wall of Nike, so the resale value wasn't up there. But you know, it's just comes with an intention of wanting to do better, and I feel like when you have the intentions of wanting to do better, that's when the shame pushes off a little bit, pushes away, because you start seeking someone that you can trust.
Because now you're entering a space that you never thought. Like you said, the first thing you would give advice on is open that bank account. So now that the bank account is open, what? Right?
You need to be educated behind it. Right. I feel like I was given a roadmap, but they didn't tell me why I was doing anything. So it didn't matter. You know, like, my mom is the smartest person on this earth and financially savvy, always had excellent credit. And I saw that. But still, when it came to me and getting the credit card, she was saying, like, don't run the credit card up. But I never knew why. And I just didn't have any clue, you know, or the bank account, you know, don't do that. And then it's overdrawn. It's like, oh, wait a minute, what is this? You know? So just really giving that education behind why you're doing what you're doing. Like, let's just not assume Susie Q knows what a checking account is, right? Or, oh, you need a savings. Like, but for what?
Yeah.
You know, what is the point of that?
Because when people say rainy day, some people misinterpret that
they
as
do. Yeah.
This bag is ready.
Oh, it's raining and Beyonce performing. I got it.
Yeah.
So understanding, you know, like again, I know we can't jam pack a whole, you know, course on finances, but again, there's so much to unpack. Like I said, the whole once you open a bank account, understanding what that means, what a savings is about, why it's necessary to have a savings, right? One of the things that I learned way later, when I got my very first job, I was making really good money at like 19, 20. And they offered me a 401k. And I was like, no, I want all my money. Right? And then now, as you know, as a 43-year-old woman, I'm like, take 15%. Right. And then if I get raised, take that. You know, and that's the one thing I've taught me.
But see, that's the difference though between, because I'm like, situation, I can't afford you to take off 15%. Knowing that in the future is going to be beneficial, but right now, this milk costs $8 a carton.
No, but you do have a good vessel that you can make money in. I always say life happens, right? You may need to go on that 401k. You may need to deplete every dime you have, but that home. That home is always there. You can pull from that at any time, you know. So that's why I push for home ownership as well. Like there is no greater investment for us. In my opinion, than a home. You know, especially in certain states like California. You know,
and his reason behind the home is so that he can give his daughter his legacy, like have a space, right? Because we both have, like I said, we both have a foster care background. And his biggest thing, and I know I'm speaking for you because, you know, I'm your big sister. Anyway, so Keymon brought home. But no, it was touching because, you know, unfortunately, there are people who have children and they got to get out the mud too.
They do. Yeah.
Because the parent be like, well, I had to get out the mud. Yeah. So to hear you selflessly, even though you're selfish as hell, say, I want to make sure my daughter's.
I'm glad you know.
You got something on your chin. You know, I just thought it was pretty. I remembered that. Like I remember why you got your home.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is the other part of like cutting off some of those bad layers of not having the right people.
Yeah.
And so anyway,
I have a question. If you don't have a question after that long ass spill.
She was trying to have your back right there too.
Can I get a witness? Anybody love Jesus?
I see the problem.
We would like to interrupt the service for a break.
Oh man, nah, she been on my head. But being two successful Black women in this industry, has it come with let's not trust her? Like how? Like what struggles have you guys saw in this industry? Or may not have seen any struggles
between us.
No, in terms of people trusting you or feeling like you guys know don't know about financial literacy. Because let's be real, Black folks are not known.
People will for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So anything that you guys can share where you
definitely, I get that all the time. I get it all the time. I always have to show and prove. You know, every single time. It's like you should have you should have went in with me. And, you know, I always say like people are, oh yeah, what are you doing? Looks good. And you know, I see what you're posting. So they get over here and it's real work. You know, and they're like, oh no, it's really work, you know, but yeah, you definitely have had to build that trust. It has been a struggle because they will go give all the money to someone else. And I could be charging a third, you know, but it's because, you know, so I had to learn very early on that, you know, I'm not doing this necessarily just for people in my family or people I grew up with, right? I'm doing this for everybody. You know, people fed into me that I don't even know. I don't know these people. Most people that have helped me, honestly, have been outside of the realm of people that I've grown up with. So I'm doing it for anybody that God sends my way, you know? So I just, you know, kind of getting over that because they will be the last to support you in some cases, right? So that has been the number one struggle and not getting my feelings, you know, in my feelings about, oh, they didn't come up to this and, you know, and so that's the biggest thing, unfortunately. And then when they start seeing other people support you, right? Or you get, unfortunately, our people too. when you get something that looks good to them. Like when they see the car that you're driving, oh, she got a house.
Yeah.
Oh, she may know what she's talking about then. You know, so
Hey, friend.
that's the biggest struggle right there.
And that's why you were my new tax person, right? We talked about people of color supporting people of color. And I was like, it's so interesting that I'm opening up with less of friction than I did with another, other race that was doing my taxes. I felt like I was in the hot seat. Definitely.
And then when we talked,
she was like, no, call me.
You know, it's funny. I feel like even when you doing my I was like, yeah, I'm in the hot seat right now.
And she's so easy.
Yeah. But I had to have a talk with myself during the drive. Hey.
She's here to help.
I've been through some things, so this is a no judgment zone.
I always say that too.
No judgment.
I've been there.
But it goes back to that comfortability. Like I see me when I see you, right? I see two black, beautiful, because I see me. Okay, back to the program.
You been drinking?
And that's the one I had. That's the first one. All I had was water. No, but it's like, I feel like, why was that? I had to do a check-in. Like, why am I struggling? And she's here for me. And I know her personally, right? Like, we've shared personal things, but something about finances.
We don't want to open up. I'm telling you.
Because
like, that's
it's
what
just
it is.
a super personal thing. And we have always been taught, don't tell people about your finances.
And two, I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. We always think that we're not in the
No
best
pun
position.
intended.
Right. We always think we're not in the best position. Somebody got to tell me I'm doing well sometimes for me to believe. So we start, I lay out all on the line and be like, oh, well, that wasn't that bad. So I think that as well. We got to give ourselves some grace again, whatever it is, because like I say, everything almost basically can be fixed.
Right.
We can come up with a plan, whatever the situation is. We can come up with a plan to help, and help you meet your goals.
Wait, Chuck.
So I have a question, because obviously, you're riding down the street, you see these little signs that say "fix your credit," and writing letters. All you have to do is just write 7 letters to the bank. They got a certain amount of days. Is this real, or like?
That's part of the process.
It is a process. It is a part of the process. Definitely.
Okay.
It is a marathon.
Okay.
It is not a sprint.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's not the whole process.
Okay.
Honestly,
Okay.
sometimes one of the biggest things, people's problem with people's credit is they don't have enough of it. A lot of the times, that is what the problem is. Or your debt to income ratio is
way too high.
So you maybe not need anything fixed. You probably just need to pay a few things down or realign the cards. Yeah.
And I also didn't realize that you have different pockets of credit scores, right?
Yes.
Like going to get a car, they're not looking at your credit.
They're not.
looking at.
Nobody talks about that.
So, and I just
Nobody
realized
talks about
that
that.
when when they got another car, they were like, "Oh no, but your car credit is great."
Yes.
And I'm thinking they about to look at the whole rap sheet. My shit matched.
That's a great point.
Best Buy.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Not Best Buy.
Best Buy, that fridge.
He is a mess. We know you've been drinking.
Oh man.
We would like to interrupt the service, but do you have a friend who has a problem?
I
know you just bought a house. You know about the advantage scores of the credit. Nobody ever talks about that.
But I also didn't know just until recently, because again, I walked in to the dealership and I was talking to the guy. I'm like, bro, like my credit. He like, how bad is that? That motherfucker might be.
I don't even know if this is an episode. You've been waiting.
Oh man. But I'm like, oh. So he finally come back with a big old circle. Man, what you tripping off of? I said, oh shit.
Right.
All right.
So what can I get?
Yeah, you know,
What we get?
I still had a limit. I had.
And stop looking at Credit Karma too. First of all,
Yeah,
it's right there.
Okay,
Please
so
stop.
is
Stop,
that
please
not
stop.
not real?
No, credit. You have 3 credit scores. Credit
Okay.
Karma only pulls
They
2.
give you all of them, and
they're
then tell you
not
what you
accurate.
qualify for with the
No,
odds of
no.
getting.
She's a
Stay off
professional
of
here.
Credit Karma. And then you talked about the level of credit. That's only a 3. It goes up to like a 9. So it's like that's the lowest. They're pulling the lowest, and only from 2 bureaus. It's not real.
So what
Yeah.
would you advise to people? What are the best apps or to kind of really?
Just go straight to your
Credit
credit. To your
Yeah,
got
you
it.
get
Okay.
one
Okay.
free credit report a year.
Yeah, okay,
Use
okay.
that.
That's the
Okay.
most accurate.
Okay.
Because if you look at that and you compare it to Credit Karma, it's never gonna match.
Got it.
Never.
So Credit Karma gonna give you a lower score than
Yes.
Because it pulls the lower scores. Like you said, there's different levels
Yeah.
of credit scores.
Interesting.
Credit Karma pulls the baseline.
Okay.
And
okay.
Credit Karma is but it is a good app to keep up with like the alerts and stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody ran your credit or
Yeah.
you paid
Yeah.
this off. It is good to keep up with that, but I wouldn't take anything else too serious.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you would like date it, but you wouldn't.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
I look
Don't-
at it
don't
all the
compare.
time. Yeah, to
Don't
see the
compare.
difference, especially if you're acquiring credit or whatever, to see
Right.
the movement in
Yeah.
it, right?
Hmm.
Because the other ones are kind of tricky to read,
Okay.
but that
Okay.
one. But as far as like your scores, you can just go to the different bureaus and pull them, or it's one called My Score IQ,
Okay.
and
My
that
score,
one
cool.
it costs $1.
Y'all hear that?
My Score IQ. Yes, and it'll give you all 3, and it'll kind of keep up with everything. for
Okay.
you.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Perfect. So I can delete this goddamn app.
I wouldn't do
No,
that.
no, I didn't. No.
Was this an episode?
It's like going to church.
Yeah.
You gonna pay off?
But also, but also, this is also these are the conversations I've been having with myself, right? Like obviously, like getting in there, redoing the house, redoing the yard,
Yeah.
and like I exhausted. So with that being said, I also realized like, yo, this is healthy stuff. This is like you redoing your backyard. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It needs to be done.
Right, but
You
the
know.
thing is, it goes back to that gritty word shame.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
it's so interesting, and I'm trying to get this out in a way that won't be like a long response, but it's like we are so ass backwards as humans.
Mm.
We're told not to worry about what people think. What we do, I don't want to tell them. Right? You know, and then I'm battling like I have this personal relationship with her. Is she gonna think I'm a broke girl?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that is my travel name, broke girl. But it's like
my niggas
it's
know.
like, you know,
Yeah.
and then she was like, babe, no, look,
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And then are you claiming this on your business thing? I'm like, I can claim
Like,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, now we can let me open up. Like this ain't right.
Let me tell you what really happened.
Which is why I'm here now. So I'm asking all the questions because if I call them on their own, they might charge me.
You was smart. How much time we got left?
So
I'm about to go get my phone.
yeah.
No, but that is dope. That you both came here with the understanding of we gonna share
Oh,
knowledge,
definitely.
you know.
Yeah.
And I hope this won't be the last time.
No,
especially
absolutely
when
not.
tax season comes. Maybe
This
this
is
is
Oh, that'd
fun.
be a good idea.
Yeah.
This is fun.
yeah, because of me, right?
Yeah.
This one.
We love you.
She's black, beautiful women. No, but I feel like it'll be a good way to really explore some of the things like again, the things that you just brought up about the car tax and not knowing the difference, right?
Mhm.
I know there are so many things that people are probably gonna look at and be like, I didn't know that.
Mhm.
Or, ooh, why they didn't say this? I really want to hear more about this. So maybe
Right.
that's a conversation that will happen offline that we can bring y'all back if that's okay.
That'd be
Absolutely.
awesome.
So we got some time. So can we go over and we talk about claiming folks on taxes or what?
Oh, this
claim
is
on
really a
taxes?
personal thing now. I'm going to walk out.
He like, you know, because tax season comes.
But
That's the
also
thing.
because I've had history where it's like, all right, I'm gonna claim exempt till July, and then July come flipped over, and then by December I'm gonna claim it again. But again though, it's all situational. For me, I need my money. Back then, it didn't make sense to give you a big portion of my check just to get $4,000 back
Right.
when you taking $1,500 a month. So the math isn't math
Yeah.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but also in that you're supposed to save to be able to pay it back. So what are any quick tips on what we're doing with our W-2s? How beneficial? What?
You quick, huh? Quick books? What quick are you talking about? Keep on.
I'm thinking like,
Why would you do that to him?
what could be a one-liner for this?
All right. So explain exemption. Explain that.
Exemption?
Yep.
It's when you don't get any taxes taken out of your check
Why do most people do that?
because they want the money.
They want their whole
Okay.
check. Yeah.
Okay, so if I got 5 kids,
Here you go.
y'all want me to claim all them kids on this thing?
Yeah.
So, but that wouldn't get as much taken at the back because obviously I got 5 miles this week.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
So I've been doing this wrong. I need to go pop them out.
Well, find somebody in back in the day. Well, actually, I got a kid for you.
Right.
Yeah, I got that kid. I went to Miami.
What? You don't care.
See what I'm saying?
Oh, who would have thought talking about finances?
Bring out so much.
When you're dealing with Keymon.
Oh man, no, maybe we do need to run this back though for tax season.
For sure.
And even if you guys want to shoot like a small video together and promote yourself on our platform, like we would definitely welcome that. Encourage that again because it's all about connecting the village, connecting the dots. If we can get our like everyone, it's almost like you looking at CSI, looking at all the connections. Like if we can get
all day.
I have not. But it's also important because, again, for someone who, luckily, I had folks that I really admired and looked up to. That was a phone call away, and I saw what they were doing, how they were moving. I also heard the struggles. Like me being okay with going through bankruptcy was because my buddy went through it, and he was able to walk me through it. Like, yo, it's not that bad.
It really isn't.
You know, so that's
representation.
Yeah.
I mean, representation is everything, right? Like, again, seeing other people situations had allowed me to go back and be like, I was crazy. I should have took that 401k back then.
Definitely.
And then now I'm like 401 queen. Not K. Queen. Like, oh, okay, I'm gonna cash out now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I definitely would love for you guys to come back in during tax season or even before. I would love to hear even if it's a breakdown that we can provide our viewers with. But thank y'all for coming, sharing your wisdom.
Of course.
And
you're welcome too. You're welcome.
With that being said, why be negative?
Help me find this man.
I fell in love with somebody who doesn't even know my name, no, no. And I know this, I'm ashamed.
Is this you? Sir. Yeah.